And it got so popular that, there was memes of it.
Steve, I absolutely love doing this with you.
I know, isn't this an absolute blast?
It is so much fun. It's absolutely amazing. God, that's the most overhanded introduction we've ever done to one of these.
Except somehow, but you went with absolutely rather than absolute.
I know.
See, what you could have said is, I approach this with absolute amazement.
Guys, if you can't tell, we want to talk about Absolut Vodka's absolute dominating ad strategy that started in the 1980s.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
So we're going to start playing some of their, and it was a print campaign. It was awesome. And Steve really liked it. So I'm going to let Steve start with this one again.
Like, what a brilliant campaign. Now, first of all, the Absolut Vodka bottle was a very pretty bottle. And actually, if you ever read the inscription on the bottle, it's actually really nice copy on the bottle. The bottle's really attractive. And what they decided to do is create this campaign where they just leaned into the name Absolut, right?
Correct.
And so you think about, they ran this campaign for 25 years, and it was constantly a 2-word campaign.
That's it. 2 words.
Now, they did a couple that I really like where they were 2-parters. Like, they had Absolute Security, where the bottle's in chains and a lock, and then Absolute Larceny, the bottle's gone and the chain is broken.
Absolutely great.
Right? Like, just, and it got so popular that, there was memes of it, like it just went on. Well, and the other one that I forgot to share with you is it got so impactful that Smirnoff actually made a big mistake where they actually tried to do one where they were basically spoofing an Absolute ad, and it was ridiculous. But basically it goes like this. There's a picture of Smirnoff and there's 2 people talking in the background, and it says, "Can a vodka be superficial?" The other person says, "Absolutely." And then it's all vodka, no pretense, Smirnoff. You just advertise Absolute.
You advertise for your competitor. Pepsi just screwed that up this last Christmas with trying to run an ad campaign with polar bears in it. Like, what are you doing?
Yes. Yeah. And on top of that, it wasn't even right because they said absolutely. They couldn't figure out a way to make the cut. Like our example, it's absolute. It's not absolutely. It's absolute.
That's correct. Yeah,
right. Like if you take in a little bit of more work, it's coming back to Absolute. Brilliant campaign. And how can we say how brilliant it is? Well, here's what ended up happening. When this campaign started in 1980, Absolut Vodka in the United States was selling 10,000 cases a year.
10,000
cases a year. By the mid 1990s, 25 years later, they're selling 4.5 million cases a year in the United States.
I'm not a mathematician or anything like that, but that seems like a big multiple.
That is a big multiple. That's 4,000% growth. Now, it's over 25 years, but that's massive in the liquor space.
Absolutely.
And then what ended up happening, things that I find funny, is they were bought by V&S Group for about $8.3 billion. The campaign was immediately canceled because, of course, why would you need the campaign? Why spend all that money? And then here we are a bunch of years later, and sales have fallen almost in half.
Well, that's a typical play, right? I mean, we see that all the time, unfortunately.
All the time.
When one of our home service companies gets bought out by a private equity group, they immediately cancel all the marketing that made them amazing in the first place. They got the attention in the first place. Try to keep all that money for themselves, and then all of a sudden the companies go to business, right? Terrible.
Now,
shame on them.
Yeah, and they've let companies like Tito's come along, and Tito's now sells 12 million. Take their. And so this is the other thing. And somebody go, well, maybe it's a change of taste. What? No, Tito's is 12 million cases a year.
Yeah, it's massive.
Right. So Tito's is bigger than what Absolut was. If Absolut stuck with this campaign, anyway, it was funny. It was engaging. All you had to say, like, there was a point where all you had to say in an ad, Absolut, and you knew what it was. That was the share of mind it had.
And any other word that you wanted to. I mean, they did it for they did regional ones where they did like Absolut Chicago and Absolut LA. Right?
Absolut LA one's my favorite one. The Absolut LA one, the pool. It's fabulous.
Right.
Fabulous.
So, I mean, like they had so much room, so much breadth to continue doing it where you knew, oh, what are they going to come up with next? Right. Would one of those things where if you're, because again, if it's a print ad, It's in newspapers. It's in magazines, right? High-end magazines, I would assume.
They did a ton of billboards.
And billboards, right? So no, I agree with you. I think there would have been more legs, and it's obvious. 25 years. Listen, if something ran 25 years, you could run it longer. I'm just saying.
And when you started that campaign, here's the other thing: is if you sat to somebody, we're going to do a 2-word campaign. In fact, it's a 1-word campaign because we're only ever going to change one word.
One word.
Would you think that you could run that for 25 years?
Yes, I'm going to say that the average person would say no.
Right.
There's no way.
But they managed to do it. Because as you said, because the other thing is once you lean into Chicago, you go, I can do every city. I can do London. I can do Paris. I can do New York. I can do Chicago. I can do LA. I can do Memphis. I can do, okay, great. That's a whole genre. Oh, then they had Absolut Warhol. Okay, great. So now I can do Matisse and I can do Rembrandt and I can do, right.
Absolutely. Well, and like you said, it was working well enough. And we've talked about this in the past. This happened to Apple's 1984 and a bunch of other things where it gets spoofed, which means it's taken up so much that it's spoofed. And then Smirnoff comes along and they're like, oh, we're going to eat some of your breakfast.
Because this whole thing came because I was reading a book on, 20 advertisements that changed the world. And I came across Absolut and I was like, okay, we got to do one on this. And then just did like basic research on how successful was the campaign.
If you guys don't know, Steve does Empire Builders podcast. I think there's a YouTube channel on it. I think you can get it on almost anything that with Apple or Spotify or anywhere else in the podcast place. The Empire Builders podcast. If you want to know more about this campaign specifically or the other 250 some odd companies that he's done the podcast on, you can go listen to those. Awesome. Well, yes, this is a great campaign. Like you said, the visuals were simple, clean, elegant, and
fabulous.
And the least amount of words in an ad campaign ever. The name of the company didn't even say that it's a vodka, it just says name of the company and then something that's absolute to them. So brilliant. Well, listen, thank you for that. Guys, if you have any questions about this episode or any other topic that you want us to talk about, reach out to us in the comments. So I don't think I've asked for a while. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Ciao for now.